focus now to some breaking news that's coming in, and this is the Electoral Bonds scheme hearing that is currently underway. The Supreme Court's five-judge Constitution bench is hearing that particular case, and the CJI, in fact, while hearing that case, has gone on to say that this particular scheme is selectively anonymous. The CJI has gone on to observe that the problem of the scheme is that it does not provide a level playing field or leads to opacity. There's no transparency as far as the source of funding is concerned. Maybe the earlier scheme did not help in curbing that much black money, but there was at least disclosure to whom these donations are being made. Now, in an attempt to have more black money into the official channel, there is no information available. There is an information hole, is what the Chief Justice of India has observed during that particular hearing. Remember, several petitioners had approached the Supreme Court against the 2018 Electoral Bonds scheme, going on to say that there was no transparency and this was only a way of political parties to ensure that corruption remained rampant. That is what the petitioners were alleging. That is what they're arguing in court. Key observations there coming to the fore from the Chief Justice of India, who is part of the five-judge bench that is currently hearing this particular case. Ananya, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Some significant observations there being made by the Chief Justice as far as the opacity of this entire scheme is concerned.
Well, definitely questions are being put, in fact, to the Solicitor General of India, who was going by the submission, putting forth the submissions on the behalf of the central government. And when the Chief Justice of India, wanted to ask him questions, he also said that, the scheme is somewhere or the other selectively, anonymous. And in fact, the government agencies, at least the SPI, that is the State Bank of India, and the law enforcement agencies would definitely get to know as to what is, in fact, this scheme about and who are the people who are donating it. So it's selectively, anonymous, and that's exactly what is the argument that's been put forth by, in fact, the observation, that has been put forth by the Chief Justice of India to the Solicitor General of India, questions being asked. But definitely, Poonam, these are just observations. These are the Supreme Court playing like a devil's advocate. Definitely, at the end of the day, the judgment would be the final thing. And in fact, the Chief Justice of India also said that this is not their final word. These are just questions that are being posed to the central government in this regard.
Right, these are merely observations that are being put out, and that distinction we'd like to make for our viewers here. The hearing is going to continue. There are 4 or more petitions that have been clubbed, and the hearing is on as far as the electoral bond scheme is concerned. Now, the government on its part has been saying that it is the right to privacy of the donors as well that needs to be maintained. The right to know for the public has to come with certain restrictions. That was the stand that the government had taken in court before the hearing began yesterday, isn't it?
Well, definitely. This is exactly the stand that the government had actually maintained yesterday. And today also, the government was on the point that, this is not the single scheme that is there. It was a part of a bunch of schemes that were brought in to, to curb on black money and various other steps like, deregistering shell companies and also going for a digitalized payments there where digital footprints would be left for any kind of a transaction being done. It's something that is a part of a larger plan of the government to, curb down on black money. And in fact, the Supreme Court is also taking into account the government submission now. The Chief Justice of India saying that the retribution is not avoided by the scheme. I'll tell you the simple reason. Under the Companies Act now modified, a company doesn't have to disclose which political party it has contributed to, but it has to show how much it has contributed. This basically, the Chief Justice of India is putting questions with regards to the Companies Act, asking that the companies might know as to who they have donated, and in fact, the political parties can also, with the matching of the balance sheets, would know as to which company has donated to them. It's something that the Chief Justice of India is saying as he takes forward the argument of selective anonymity, asking the questions to the Solicitor General of India. He also responding to it, but at the end of the day, we are seeing the central government trying to defend all of these submissions, but what is the end of it is something that we'll only get to know when the hearing concludes in this particular matter and judgment is delivered.
Right, it is going to be a long-drawn hearing. It has just about begun yesterday. We are going to be seeing all sides make those arguments. Do keep a track of that, but for the moment, Ananya, thank you so much.